upstairs because they're afraid to fall through the.
Oh, that.
Well, you go in there and buy a can of paint with the brush. And that was 20 years ago. Yeah, they've interviewed me.
We are recording and ready to go.
Okay, call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
General,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wickman,
Yes.
Herder,
Yes.
and Pierce.
Here.
Record shows that all members are present.
Okay, you've had an opportunity to review the minutes. Is there any additions or corrections? If not, I'd ask for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Election of officers. Nominations for chairman.
I nominate Mr. White.
I second.
Move nomination cease.
It's pretty good. Second, I think.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for White to be chairman. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's what you want.
Vice chairman.
Sure, I'll do it again if you want to.
Make a motion.
Been moved and seconded. The motion to
Sure.
for cease.
I'll do that for you.
All in favor of Tim being vice chairman? Say yes.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Okay, meeting schedule. I think we've all had a chance to review that. Looks like everybody had one day of vacation.
That's pretty good for this. It really
It
is.
is. Do we need to do anything, just approve it? Or do we need to do anything with it?
We can do a motion for it
For the calendar.
for the calendar.
Okay, we don't need to do anything for the meeting.
No, not for the attendance.
Okay, so you've had a chance to look at the calendar for the upcoming year.
I make a motion to approve the calendar.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the calendar. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Okay, we'll open up public hearing in just a second. I need to read a statement. The public hearings will be conducted pursuant to the board's rules of procedures as adopted May 26, 1988. We will first hear the report of the planning director on the detailed information and observations regarding the request, if not done so in written form prior to the hearing. Next, we'll take the testimony of the applicant and his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I will call upon members of the audience wishing to make a statement concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those opposed to it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the board may interrupt to ask questions or to make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of all testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the board. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, we will then hear the recommendations, if any, of the planning director. And upon completion of all the discussion, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the request. After the public hearing has been closed, I'll entertain a motion for the members of the board regarding the disposition of the application. Each speaker addressing the board shall step forward to the podium and state their name and address before proceeding with the testimony or evidence. I would ask that you would spell your last name. This board shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that it may deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions relating to the admissibility of evidence, which may be overruled by a majority of the board. The board may grant continuance in case of good cause shown by any interested party who has entered his appearance. The board may at any time request a continuance of the hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for such other reasons the board may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reasons of the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official action of this board will be made in a public hearing by motion made, seconded, and polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion for the or amendment thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this board. Once this board has reached a decision on a case, that decision shall be final. In section 335.18 of the Code of Iowa states, any person or persons jointly or severely aggravated by any decision of the Board of Adjustments under the provision of Chapter 335, or any taxpayer or any officer of department, board, or bureau of the county may present to the court a record of petition duly verified, setting forth that such decision was illegal in whole or in part, specifying the grounds of the illegality. Such petition shall be presented to the court within 30 days after filing the decision of the office of the board. Upon hearing that, I would ask for a motion to open public hearing on case ZB 2016-01, Marlene K. Jenkins.
So moved. Second.
Been moved to second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Somebody representing the Jenkins, if you would come to the, up front to the.
I'm her husband.
Okay. We have a, does that pick that up there? That we don't.
Yeah, it picks it up.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, you're good. Okay, you wanna give us your name and
Okay, my name is Ronald Lee Jenkins, and my wife is Marlene K. Jenkins, and we both live at 15988 Crystal Lane. And I was originally built by my mother and father-in-law, and he's deceased and she's in a nursing home, so we went into an estate for our children, so we get to live there until we pass. So we're trying to, what we're asking for is both of us are disabled, and it's become necessary for us to put everything on one level, so we've moved everything, freezer, everything, washer, dryer, everything's on one level. That's what we're trying to accomplish now. We key in this is trying to get this, our garage moved up for our ramp into the house is. When the state put the ramp in, they put a sidewalk that went down like at an angle to the driveway, but it was too steep. And it's turned out to be a nightmare. My wife fell this winter. She was laid up for 3 weeks on it. I've gone down on it. We got rid of it because it was, I've turned over on it several times. It was just a nightmare. So our property sits like this. There's a 12-foot drop from one end of the house to the north side. So from the south side where my ramp is to the north side, because there's a garage underneath the house. And so right now we have to go up I don't know if you have a picture of this. This is what the house looks like right now.
I think we had that picture, I think, yeah.
I updated it to show exactly what it looks like here. Well, I don't know how many people there was. I made copies, but I got to get moving here. This is what the property looks like right now, as of today. We got a culvert permit, and Craig came out, and we relocated the driveway and put in a pad with anchors. That's what they said we need to have. And as you see, it comes right off our ramp on that side of the house. And this allows us to just put everything on one level. It's also become very difficult to plow my driveway, we live next to a farm, and the farmer just put a gate across our road, and now the snow plows stop right in front of our road and leave this much snow. And this winter we couldn't get our mail, so we had to move our mailbox up. And the paper guy, the same thing, trash guys, they won't come down there because they get stuck and can't come back up. The plow was stuck this year. I had to go out and tell the plow to open the gate so he could be sitting there spinning.
but the request is for a carport, right?
Right, is to move that building right there, it has the blue roof on it, it's no longer blue, to move that carport up to that pad, so we can,
Up here.
right,
Yeah.
so we can have everything on one level, and that's what that's basically what we're trying to do, is just, so we can stay in the house, because we have no place else to go. We gotta make this do.
Now that's not attached to the house according to this picture.
No, they told us they had to be 10 feet from the house and 10 feet from the lot line, and so we followed those instructions. A contractor to put the pad in. And, so we followed, whatever, what they told us we needed anchors for us, so we had anchors installed in the concrete.
So the cement's already there.
Right, the cement's there, the anchors, everything, just,
Tim, can I see that again, please?
I had, I've been in contact with the planning department along during this to make sure I was doing what was necessary for this to happen. So,
So when you put it there, then you're, how many feet too close? 20 feet, is that what I remember?
I was reading this, it says it would be 35 feet, but it's more than that, because if you look at that picture in there, those sheets that are laying in the driveway are 20 feet long, and I think it's more like 44 feet to the lot line. Not
Do we have
35.
that number, Matt?
It'd be 35, it'd be 15 feet.
15 feet.
Too short, because he needs to be at 50, and it would be, he's asking for, to be at 35.
Right, so it'd be 15.
I don't know how all that works, I'm just.
And it has to be 8 feet from the house?
8 feet from the house.
We were told 10, so we have it 10 feet from the house. So that,
It says 8, I think.
The cement pad's fine as long as there's no building on it, is that correct or not?
Yeah, the cement pad, having a cement pad there is fine. It's just the erection of that carport on it.
yeah, he put a ton of rebar in it, and it's really thick, because it's a little low there, and he dug it too deep, so it's really thick. It'll never go anywhere.
Did you check with the planning department before you had the pad poured?
Yeah, I've been following, because Craig came out to do the culvert thing, and then I said, so what's the next step thing? Well, in order to get this variance, you're gonna have to have a place to put it. So what do I need? And you got a pad, it's gotta be 10 foot from the house, 10 feet from the south lot line, and it's gotta have metal, bolts to secure it to the concrete, so.
And it needed to have a 50-foot setback too.
Well, that's what we need the variance for, because.
But you already poured the pad. But you already poured the pad.
Oh, yeah, that picture I showed you is exactly, yeah, this one right here, that's what it looks like as of right now.
And just, really, you should have waited till you had your building permit from us before you poured the pad, because we would have been out there to inspect your anchors for that carport.
Oh, I asked Craig, he said.
Who's Craig?
That's a gentleman who's, I believe you may be speaking about the secondary roads department.
Yeah, he's the one to come out and did the culvert. I asked him what I needed, and he said, yeah, he came back out to re-inspect it after it was all done, and,
So that's not out of our department?
No.
So is a carport considered a building?
It is. With it, and what he has there is it's a tubular constructed metal building. It's fully enclosed.
it has a garage door, and
Oh, okay.
I'm actually.
Can't attach it to the house.
You could attach it to the house, but you would have to do the frost protection footings all the way around it.
But you could get it then 8 feet closer.
It would be further back, yeah.
Is there an alternative place that this could go?
There is.
Where else could it have gone?
It could have gone, if he would have gotten directly to the west of his house there.
What's north on this?
North is up.
Okay, north is
Doors
up.
up? Okay.
So the front where the building is pictured now, the house,
It's on the east side.
yeah, on the east side, you could have come back and put the building right there, run the drive right past the front of the house, and you would have the same access to the house. And then you would be meeting setbacks at that point, because once you get behind that back line of the house, you can go 4 foot and 4 foot.
You're talking about the west end of our house?
Yes, that's what I discussed with you in the office.
You don't know where our septic tank laterals are there.
We have your septic tank depicted down
Right,
here.
yeah, but the lateral.
And the lateral runs straight out
right.
from that, and that would
Runs-
not have affected
And our
where
well,
your,
yeah,
where your buildings could have sat at.
Yeah, our well line runs through there too, that's our well.
I don't,
But the ramp is on the other end of the house facing east. And where you're saying it's really high.
I understand it would be a convenience for you to have the building located where you would like to have
That
it.
land drops off the
but-
street now.
It would give you the same convenience to access to your house to have the building placed back here. You would have the exact same access to the front of the house as you would have right there.
It'd cost you more to put concrete around to that.
It would be more in rock to go back there. I believe it's rock
Does it-
drive they
does
have
it-
now.
They can just, he doesn't have to have concrete, he can just do a rock drive.
Mhm.
That is straight like this back there. It would cost a fortune to fill it, and plus that's a bedroom on that end of the house. And there's a porch with a door going out of the house up above that. I mean, what would you do with the door going out of that's for fire code. You'd have a roof door going out to the top of a building.
Well, you'd have a space in between there where you could utilize that.
It'd still be the 8-foot separation distance between your house and the building. But it could be positioned similarly.
What would we,
But your kitchen and everything, where you
What would
want
we
access
do?
is down.
what would we do in the wintertime when there's drifts through there? How would we get from there to the house? You know how bad that drifts through there. There's only 20 feet between the house and there anyway. It's not, this lot we lose about 15 feet of this lot because on the north end of it, it goes like this into the cow pasture. And it's real soft. And that's another problem back there, water. We've got a real problem with water. And this carport where it is now, it's blocking every time it rains, I got pictures of it here. Every time it rains, it backs up, it floods our septic tank and we have a back door back there. The concrete's covered with black moss because it's always wet back there. Air conditioners are right there. I got stuck yesterday in just mud. It's just the whole back, that part of it's just a mud hole. This carport has made it worse because it blocks the water coming down from the side of the house and then floods that whole area. I was in that shed yesterday and it was all flooded.
If it was just a pad, it wouldn't matter.
No, but if it's just that's fine.
There's a garage under the house.
Yeah, on the north side, you have to go underneath, but the steps, I got a picture of the steps. This house was originally a two-bedroom house my father-in-law built, and they squeezed it in, I'm talking about. This house was squeezed in, and everything in this was done wrong. This house can never be built today. But the stairwell on it is so bad, I fell backwards on this myself. The water heater's at the bottom of the step, and the step goes straight up like this. And we had to put a thing in front of the water heater, so when you fell down the step, you wouldn't fall into the water heater. But
There is a garage on the north side though, right now,
underneath.
underneath.
But to get to it,
How do you get to that?
you have to go up the driveway to the road, up the road to the driveway, and then up to the front of the house.
Do you use it now?
The hot road.
The driveway, or the
Garage.
garage?
She keeps her car in there because she don't drive very much. I keep mine, since we built the thing up there, I keep mine up there all the time.
Pad.
On the pad. She's just waiting for this to put it up there. She just don't want to park it outside. Because we have, the birds there are terrible. We have barns locked up. They just turn your car into uniforms. You don't really, and the flies from the farm. It's just so bad.
Well, the part that confuses me is that you were working with these people and then somebody from another department told you for that pad and fill it. I'm confused.
Well, they told us it was separate. I said, is the pad is separate from your moving the garage. I mean, they're two separate issues. Cause you can put the pad there and they won't let you move the garage, you still can park there.
Right, so you could do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the issue, so they were two separate issues. This was to just,
But you intended to put a garage over the top of
oh,
this.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah,
because,
so I mean, so
otherwise
they-
we're,
And do they know that? People from the county, do they know that that's what you're gonna do?
oh, yes, ma'am, because they told us we had to put the metal anchors in the pad.
Well, keep keep in mind that that was the roads department.
Right,
It was-
that's-
I know, I
who
know.
probably knew nothing of our
I
zoning
know, that's
issues.
kind of,
That's where I'm having,
yeah, me too.
I
Thank you very much.
I came into the planning office a couple times and I showed her the plans. She made copies of them.
evidently they informed you that it was too close, because that's why we're here today.
Yeah, I mean, I gave her, when I came in the other day, I got to get a copy, wanted to get a copy, aerial copy of it, so she took and made copies of these, so I could, what we were doing. I even showed this, I showed the pad, I showed her where the 6 anchors are.
Who'd you show that to? Pam?
Whoever was making my
Right, yeah.
copies,
Might have been Deb.
who was making the copies for me at the counter. I told her, I said, I don't know what I need for what, and she said, well, I wanted to make sure I had the right stuff because I'm not an architect. I just saw this application that showed all these design drawings you needed to have and everything. But, since we were just relocating an existing building, we weren't adding anything new.
Well, yeah, you're adding a garage.
Well, it's just down below, we would just be relocating it to a different part of the property, but it's the same building. Just take it apart and put it back together again, it's just screws and hold it together. We are gonna fix the roof on it, though, we're gonna make it vertical, so instead, right now, it's horizontal and it leaks like a sieve. So we're gonna make it up, because it would make it look better from the front, so it doesn't look like a carport. We don't wanna offend our neighbors by putting something godly up there, you know.
So I don't know that I can vote yes unless we go out and look at it. I mean,
Well, the only thing I would say is, I don't even remember when it was or where it was. This board told a developer that after the house was built, they built it
too
too
close.
close.
You tore
Or
it
maybe
down.
move the garage.
Right. Yeah. That's correct.
So,
Well, and the thing we're running into here is that there is another place to go with it.
Personally,
Somebody gave you some bad information, I think.
well, there's no way that we could put it there, and we couldn't do it now anyway, because we just went into some serious debt just doing what we're doing here. You know, I'd love to put a real garage there, but I can't afford it.
Right.
You know, I'm sure my neighbors would prefer to have a real garage there instead of this building, but, you know, we're living on disability checks, you know, and I mean, Social Security,
Now, the blue thing is your existing garage.
that's the carport, yeah, that's down, and that's,
The carport, you have an open end, both ends open.
it's enclosed.
So you've got a garage
Closed.
underneath
But it's
over here.
against the house, and it's putting running water against the house, and we got a real major problem back there with water.
But it looks like an all-enclosed building then. The carport existing now,
This is your house, and you said you can't do this anymore.
it's not really a
Yeah.
carport.
No, it's a steel building.
Yeah, it's just a steel building.
But I consider a carport as something that you drive under, it might have both ends open.
Open up both ends.
Oh, no, well, it was initially a carport.
Is
but
that
we
legal, Matt,
enclosed
to have a
it.
carport?
It has a
over this?
garage door on it.
No structure at all.
It doesn't, it's not,
Okay, any other questions?
let's see if I can put these pictures up. I mean, this-
Okay.
That's okay.
that's okay.
I just wanted to know if it was open on both ends. like-
Well, I tried to take some pictures to help out here. You know,
We've got what you sent in here, so we've got pretty much what we need. Any other questions for him? Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak opposed? Okay. You can get back, we need to come up and, thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You'll have a chance for a closing statement at the end.
Oh, okay, thank you.
My name is Raymond Keithley, last name Keithtley. And I'm the neighbor right across the street.
Across the street.
And of course, he's got pictures, and I took pictures too from my front door. And then went down and took pictures, like coming in down his driveway that he claims is pretty steep, which is not that steep. And I don't know about the water problem, but if there is a water problem, he could drain that off pretty easily.
Tim, would you like to submit that for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, and then we can get a look at it.
You can keep it, okay. And I think putting that carport up there would just be a tremendous eyesore. And I think that it's not that big a deal for him to get to the driveway now. He's got a carport, or he got a slab made, which I even quizzed him about, where's your, permit? Because he was telling me when I built my place, I had to have a permit posted. And he said, well, he was going to go down and get the variance. And I'm like, well, things didn't add up to get a variance before you start pouring concrete. But the point is, it's there. And the fact that his car is there right now, and that's in the daytime. Nighttime, the car is down in the garage. He keeps them in the garage, both of them. And so I really don't think moving that is such an asset to him. If he's got a problem inside the house, the stairs, they got things that they make to run you up and down the stairs. And as far as that cement sidewalk that was in a big problem down there, I watched him bust it up and carry it off. So I don't think there's any big deal. And that's all I really have to say. Any questions for me?
You live just
Right
right
across
straight
the road.
east, right across the road?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else want to speak opposed?
Bill Sublett, 15935 Crystal Lane, 15935.
Okay, thank you.
This gentleman here put in a $5,000 driveway before he got permission to move the shed. I would have thought he should have went around and talked to the neighbors or the ones that got the letter to and got their opinion first. And he told me the other night that the property, Rosemary, his mother-in-law, put it in a trust for the kids. Now, does he have to have a permission from the kids to do this work?
It would just be the property
Yeah.
owner's signature.
Huh?
The property owner would have to sign off on an application for a building permit.
But he said it was in the trust for the kids. Rosemary put it in a trust.
On the assessor's page right now, it's listed in his wife's name.
What do you say?
Right now, it's listed in Marlene Jenkins' name on the assessor's page.
Well, they must have changed it within 3 or 4 days then, huh? Because he told me the other night.
We're just going by what's on the record, so.
Okay.
yeah.
I was going by what he told me.
Right, but we have to go by the record,
Okay.
so.
Then you.
Yep.
And as far as getting around, he's lived there 5 or 6 years now. And I've seen him come up that sidewalk he's got with the cart. I've seen him walk down that sidewalk without the cart, and I've seen him in the backyard walking around. Next time I see him with crutches. So I really don't know what his status is. I
We're
don't know.
not here to discuss that sort of stuff, we're just on the carport,
Yeah,
so let's stay away
Well-
from that sort of stuff.
I think the carport would make the house look bad. That's,
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to speak opposed? Where, Pam, where was his address? Where would that put him?
15935 Crystal.
But where's that put in according to the house?
I don't know.
It's 590.
Can we ask him?
Excuse me, sir, where do you live in comparison?
15973.
Oh,
You live
No, no,
across the other guy.
The other one, where do you live in relation to,
across the street,
To the east,
So you two are-
Next neighbor?
15935
straight across the street to the east
from him.
from him?
to the south.
To the south.
To the south.
He's a little seat to the next door to me.
Okay, so you're
just
both on the
one side.
side,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, name and address, please.
Joe Allen, 15952 Crystal Lane, right next door.
On that same side of the road looking, okay?
Yeah, well, he's right beside me.
Oh, you're by side, okay.
Yeah.
You're south of him
Yeah.
or north of him?
I'm terrible at
You
directions.
want it left or right, huh?
I'm on the right side. Yep. My concern is putting up this water runoff view. It's gonna disrupt, he says, snow. We get bad enough snow as it is, and you guys know what happens when you put up a snow fence, what it's designed to do, this building's put up. That's gonna do the same factor. It's gonna create snow buildup on that road, even worse than what it is now. I've known this property since I've been born. I've lived there almost all my life. It's been in my family for 80 years. I can tell you what's gonna happen when it does come up. And it's gonna create a snow fence right there, and that snow's gonna stick to that road. And as he's complaining about not getting out now, he'll never get out. And I don't know anybody who'll come rescue him either. So it's an eyesore, it's hideous, it doesn't need to go in. If there was another alternative, that is correct, out back, and that's where it should have been. I agree with you on that one. It would be a lot better, it'd be a lot more flowing, and let's not ruin nature. It ruins the view too. That's all I really have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak opposed? Okay, you have a chance to answer any of those questions or have a closing statement.
I'll start off with the last gentleman. First of all, his house is directly across. My father-in-law built the house farther to the road so he wouldn't block the view of their house, which sits farther back. So if something was put back there, that would block his view. Up where it isn't gonna block anybody's view. As far as the snow, there's no drifting there. That's what's great about this spot. Down below, it comes off the cow pasture and drifts across that road. But up where this carport is, it doesn't drift up there. And so, and it's too far from the road, it's not gonna affect the road. The road's affected by, by coming off the cow pasture past my house on the north, goes straight down, and so that wind blows through there, and I mean, it buries my fence and that whole area, that, where this road is. I've had, the farmer next door, Don Wiley, he's come up with his front end loader, sometime trying to get all that snow out of there, like I said, with the gate there now, it's just a nightmare. It's this winter, we couldn't get our mail, we couldn't get our paper, garbage man couldn't get our garbage, so we had to move everything up to where it is now, where it's the only area in that lot that's flat. This was about why the only reason this wasn't there sooner is because my mother and father-in-law buried a big pine tree there when they got married. And it was like 50 feet tall, and it was right there. So we couldn't cut it down, so that was the reason the carport wanted up where it is. We wanted to put it up there because of the tree, but God just got struck by lightning, so the tree's gone, and that opened this area up. I don't know, I don't know what the other gentleman said about $5,000 for a driveway. I ain't got $5,000. He was, I just don't understand what he was.
That doesn't play in our part. We're just
Yeah, I don't know,
interested in the
I don't
location.
understand any of what he was saying. The issue here is that we aren't doing this because we haven't got nothing better to do and want to go into debt. We're both handicapped. I don't know what they're mumbling off on. I can get up and walk a few steps, but I fall on my you-know-what.
Once again, that doesn't.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, I'm just so
Yeah,
they,
no,
you know, I've taken a lot of risk. I'm doing stuff I shouldn't be doing, but I can't afford to pay somebody else to
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that doesn't enter into our thinking, that we're just interested in.
you know,
that
the reason
location.
we're asking this for is because my wife fell on that sidewalk and was laid up for 3 weeks. I've fallen on it, I've turned over on it, plus my batteries get killed having to take that all the way around in the wintertime. I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. I've talked to Craig about that road. All the water runs down our driveway. I got pictures of here of it flooded with rock everywhere. We shovel the rock because it comes off. It don't go to culverts, it don't go down the ditches, it goes right down our driveway. Because our road, the driveway comes right off of the road and all the water comes down there. I've got a 4-inch drain in front of my carport to haul up for that water. It can't handle it. It backs up in the carport. I got pictures here if you want to see it of yesterday. There was that much water in the carport. Water backs up and floods the garage and the carport, that whole area. My back door, it comes in the back door to the house where our air conditioners are, where the septic tank is, that whole area floods. So we got and plus the water's running off of that carport into the house on one side, and that bank is on the other side. It's only 10 feet to the edge of it, and it's so soft. You walk on, your feet stick in there, and the carport is actually sunk about that much on one side because it's so soft in there. So
Maybe
we have
maybe I
real.
missed this, but how long have you lived there?
We've been there 11 years since a year after 2004. Jim always said, you know, they didn't have to go anywhere in the winter. He was retired, so they didn't worry about it, but we have to get out. So it became an issue with us. We need to put everything on one level, and we looked into the stair thing, and our stairs are not right because it's so steep and it comes down like this. They won't put it on there because it's too dangerous.
Okay.
I mean, we got a step that's like this,
Okay.
and so we've checked into that. We have no other way up to the front of the house. I wanted to I've already told them I've changed the roof, painted a different color. I tried to make it look just like a building, and I'm not going to put anything on it, to make it look. I've bent over backwards trying to make it appealing as I can. I wish I could afford to build a real garage there, but I can't at this point. And so, the issue here is not that we're doing this because we want to stay in our home, and that's where my ramp is into the house, and my wife's legs have gotten worse and worse, and I don't know how much longer I can keep pushing my luck so we've got, but we're just asking to have access to our home so we can live there. I mean, that's the bottom line in all this, and we're willing to make it as I'll do anything I can to it. He made a statement that metal doesn't hold paint. That's baloney. It's paint. I paint metal all the time. So I told him I changed the roof. We had stuff on the carport. I've taken it off. I'm not going to put it back on there. In the front of it, I wanted to make it as appealing as possible. It's not going to block. It's not going to cause any drifting.
And our decision will be based on location.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
I think we've heard your side. I think thank you for your presentation. Thank you, people. Matt, do we have any recommendation from the?
The recommendation of the planning department is to deny the application based on the following findings of fact. Number one, the zoning ordinance establishes criteria for granting a variance. No evidence was submitted which would support the granting of the requested variance. Granting a variance without justification would result in the precedents being established that would undermine the intent and spirit of the zoning ordinance. Number two, there is an alternative site that would provide the same access to the home and meet the setback requirements of the zoning ordinance.
Any other Motion, before we go on. Make a motion to, close public hearing. Been moved to second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Discussion.
My concern is that the county is giving him, a different department is giving him different information. How does that happen? I mean, how can you be getting contrary?
You know, we, unfortunately, that's something that we hear a lot from, people will come in and say that, you know, this person told them that, or, and without that other person being here, there's no way to really know if that's what was told to them, or if that's just the way that they perceived what was being told to them. Because, we had, you know, I had long conversations about, you know, don't do anything without your building permit. You have to have the anchors in, we have to inspect those if you're planning on doing anything.
You told him that prior to?
So he's been working with your office.
Yes.
Well, the pad can be there.
The pad can be there.
And he can still get in the house. He just doesn't have the other surrounding garage, which he does have down below, a garage.
If you're gonna have a hailstorm, you can put it down there.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have a garage for years.
We have a garage, but we don't have a car. Only phone.
You need a carport.
And if the weather was that bad, you probably wouldn't be going, throughout this village, you wouldn't be going somewhere very fast.
So it seems like this is a case where they knew the requirements but chose to circumvent them, do you think? Is that
Misled.
We don't know, but fact, I mean, the fact is, they're in the office and got a pad where it shouldn't be.
I mean, the pad
That's
itself
okay.
is fine, it's just if you know, and it was discussed that, you know, the anchors would have needed to be inspected with a building permit. That he chose to put them in there, I can't speak to why, when you were told that. I mean, if it's just gonna be padded, you cut the anchors off and it can just be padded.
And it would be a good place to park and have access to your house.
If the pad was attached to the house, would that make a difference?
It would just be less of a, he would still have to request a variance for the setback, but it would just be a less.
If you didn't cover the whole pad, I mean, if you went back to the house and covered from the house out just far enough.
Make it one car instead
Yeah,
of two cars.
yeah.
I think it's still the depth wise, you would still wouldn't make that 50-foot setback.
Okay.
And then it does increase the cost a little bit on concrete, because you do have to do frost footings, and you're attaching it to, it can't just be then a monolithic slab or just a slab, it has to actually have the 42-inch frost depth to it.
This is probably just a floating slab,
Yeah.
which would be fine. Okay, any more discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for you, Tim, to deny the application based on the findings of fact from the staff. Alternative site that could have been, probably designed and installed, with the thought in mind that we require somebody to move an entire garage.
For 7 feet.
With the same situation as this.
For
They
7
did it,
feet.
they did it without a permit, without the setback requirements of the county zoning ordinance, and I have to agree with the staff that setting a precedent like this and allowing this to happen, what would the developer say to us that cost him $80,000 to move that garage?
And the horse shed we had moved.
I mean, each situation has its own merits, and, it's unfortunate that, they have disabilities, but there's also, zoning ordinances that we have to follow. And for that, I make the motion to deny the variance.
Is there a second to Tim's motion? Second. Been moved and second, roll call vote.
General,
Yes.
White,
Yes,
Wickman,
Yes.
Herder,
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes.
it's been denied.
So what do we do?
You've got a pad to park your car on.
You know that we've been struck by lightning 4 times. Would you like to be on one of these going all the way up to the road, of a gravel road that's mud all the time? I ruin these things. The motors are $700.
My father had one of those for a number of years.
Yeah, that road is horrible.
I'm well aware of what those are.
I had,
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Next open meeting for case ZV 2016-02, Casey's General Store. Do I have a motion to
I'll move to
So
open.
moved.
move in second? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same. Motion carried. Casey's General Store representative.
My name is Brian Henn, Henn, 405 West 15th Road, Phillips, Nebraska. I'm with Henn Signs here on behalf of Casey's. I've got Galen Kraus with me from Casey's tonight. Last July, we approached the board and asked for a variance. At that meeting, I didn't feel any opposition from the board. I felt it was very receptive to what we requested. However, there was reluctance because your code was under review at that time. Since that time, code has been reviewed and changed. However, there really wasn't any change. The only thing that happened is we get no additional height, no additional square footage. It's just how you want to use it. Overall height, 45 feet on interstate application, isn't even close. 85 to 100 is the norm. What we currently have out there is probably a third of the size of what we need. We'll share with you, this store is struggling. Casey's are good operators. What it comes down to is we don't have interstate identification. We're here tonight to ask for your help. I mean, our hardship's your code. It's just not friendly to somebody who wants to conduct business along that interstate. And I'm sure our competitor down the road, same deal. We don't want anything special. If you give us something, give them the same. But we need your help. I mean, currently all we're able to advertise is one product, diesel. We put in a CAT scale with no ability to advertise that. We have DEF added at the pumps, can't advertise that either. Heck, when you're westbound, you can't even tell that's a Casey's. I mean, the sign's just way too small, not big enough. Just have a process to correct this. We're here to ask for your help.
What did they change? I mean, that was my question when I got this. It doesn't appear that we changed much, the code.
It wasn't a major change to it. What we did do was say, you can have 400 square feet and use it as you wish to do so. So if you choose to put a large amount of signage on a building or on, the canopies, things like that, then it would subtract down from that. And before it was, you had this certain amount you could use here, this certain amount you could use here, and now this time we just said, you take that 400 and use it however you see fit to use it. The height wise, I know Mr. Henn says that 85 to 100 feet is the norm, but we didn't find that when we looked at all the other sign codes. We were really, we were higher than some, and we might not have been the highest, but we were pretty well in line with our height requirement. And topography wise, I did feel when I went out there, I drove out there, coming around, and his sign there is some topography issues out there. I believe he has. I believe that there is justification on the topography of that. to allow for the 65 feet, because you can't, when you're coming around through there, you can't see it. I mean, so if it was up a little higher, it would make it easier to see.
Having said that, that was there when they put the cases there.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on? What's the weather?
Amber alert.
If I may,
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
regarding the height issue, you know, you can drive up down the interstate, you don't have to go very far. You'll see a tremendous difference in the height of these signs. I mean, I've been at this for 30 years, folks. I've been a lot of places, put a lot of signs up. I'm telling you, 85 to 100 feet is the norm. And square footage, if you visited that store, there's not an abundance of signs on it. I mean, it's not even our standard package.
And I mean, they're competing with that. I mean, that Love's Interchange in Shelby, it's an unregulated jurisdiction. Those guys are gonna do
Okay, that's it. Okay,
whatever
that's
they
why
wanna
that-
do. Nobody's out there, they have no standards set against them. And that not to mention,
That's in Shelby County, right?
that's in Shelby, inside the city limits of
City.
Shelby,
City limits.
So there's no.
which has the large Menards distribution center. Then there's also the big fertilizer plant just down from that. I mean, if you're out there, it's a traffic nightmare, and the DOT is well aware of it, and they're trying to work things out with it, but it's,
That's why the difference, I remember that now when we discussed that, it was
Yeah.
down.
We've scaled back tremendously what we came for the first time. Hopefully to reach some kind of compromise. But what we really needed is what we asked for the first time.
And that love sign is because it's in Shelby.
Matt, what other sign would, be considered as part of their square feet of signage? They can only have a total of 400. What compromises, what makes up that?
so what I take it is, I'm looking at your sign type, okay? You have the freestanding sign. I think that allowing 400 square feet on that sign is fine. If you have, right now they have two freestanding signs. They got one down by the entrance, and then they have their one interstate sign.
No, we don't.
Did you get rid of the one by your entrance?
That one at the entrance. We couldn't put it up, we ran out of square footage.
Oh.
Or we couldn't do two pole signs, that was it.
I was thinking that when I was out there, though, you guys haven't,
No.
there's no sign by the entrance here?
The footings went in, the sign never went up because
Okay,
we couldn't get
so-
it permitted.
So then that right there allows them, they can have the 400 square foot sign, freestanding sign out there. They had very good mathematical, equations of square footages that they broke down every sign, with their canopy signs and the signage on the front of the buildings and things. I kept trying to work through how to, distinguish away from
So
all
the
these.
canopy sign that says Casey on it is part of the 400 square foot.
It could be, a person could read it that way and say, an interpretation could be made to say that, yeah, we're gonna include that all in with that 400 square foot, but the interpretation that I'm making of it is that that is for the freestanding sign.
That's what I would think.
So you can have a 400 square foot freestanding sign.
But the Casey's part is not
So
counted?
how much is on
That
this?
one
just-
way.
Just
The
freestanding.
gas price, this one way.
No, the gas prices are included in that
Yeah,
400
I
square
know,
foot.
But the one at the
I think
Casey's
that was
above
It
it
never
is
went
not?
up.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Now, you would include the Casey's portion of it, the roof portion of it,
The roof portion doesn't have any writing on it.
and that's kinda, so you have I took the roof portions out of the calculations, all in attempts to,
So the sign they're proposing then, is a total of about 300 square feet,
And it,
correct?
would it be, best maybe if I gave my recommendation at this point, or no? I mean, if you guys would like to hear it.
Sure,
Go ahead.
we're up for anything on this.
So my recommendation, the recommendation of the planning part, is to approve the height variance, deny the square footage variance based on the following findings of fact. The topography of the interchange does put this site at an elevation at a disadvantage in being seen from the I-80 eastbound traffic flow. Deny the square footage variance based on square footage that they're requesting can be met at the time it was under the removal of the second freestanding sign, the entrance of the property. Current code allows for the one freestanding sign. By removing this sign, they can increase the requested sign by 197 square feet, bringing the property into compliance by increasing the signage to 400 square foot freestanding sign.
That means he does have an additional 197 feet that he didn't know he had?
Correct.
So what could you
So
do with
side-
197 square feet?
We currently, I think we're at, right about 300 square feet, what we asked for, correct?
Yep, correct.
And so we can get an additional 100 on top of that,
So you get an additional 100 square feet.
that helps.
We're really trying.
How is it not?
I appreciate it.
And you're
197?
trying.
Yeah.
How is it not 197?
This design here that he's requesting is all
300.
together is 300 square feet, so he could have another 100 square foot onto that.
That's calculating the roof in,
So,
my calculations.
What
If we can throw
This
the roof out
this
because
right
it doesn't
here,
have any
this little-
copy, we'll go with that too.
Doesn't have any writing on it, so it doesn't count.
What roof are you talking about?
we,
Right here, the
Yeah.
gray roof on top of Casey's, that doesn't have anything writing on it, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's throw the roof out.
well,
And
and
that's up to them, but
that's something that on other signage, other sign permits that we have done in the past for other people, we have taken those items into consideration.
Okay.
So it's not
Okay.
anything new for us.
Okay, so if you can get another 100 square feet and we can move you up 20 feet, how's that gonna work?
That helps. It's not ideal, but it helps.
no, I'm gonna go out on this limb here, and I can't take care of my own business, but I'll throw this out. Everybody knows it's a Casey's General Store. By legality, do you have to have general store under it?
We're trademarked.
That's what I think.
All right, I don't have a problem with that. You know, I think we can justify the 20, oh, well, I better probably ought to wait until after.
Yeah, we better, just, we're finding facts now.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments you'd like to make?
Nope.
Okay, anyone wanna speak for it?
I don't have much to say, but
Covered everything? Okay.
Okay.
Galen Karas, Karas, live at 1985 Highway 92, gotta remember my address, Fontenelle, Iowa. And I guess most anything I have to say is kind of redundant, but I was just gonna point out, there's a store down here on 32nd Street in town, Council Bluffs, that has this, our standard pylon sign and an interstate sign, and I'm just to the point that, yeah, we're way short of signage on that store compared to most. It's my understanding we were up against limitations with that.
Okay.
Don't have a whole lot else to say. Thanks for considering.
Okay. Anyone else, you wanna speak against or anything? You wanna be quiet? Okay. Okay, and we've got a recommendation. So I'd ask for a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Been moved and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Okay. Discussion.
You know, about the only times that we've ever really given variances is for hardships. And you know, and I do drive that interstate out that way 4, 5, 6 times a month. And that sign is very hard to see, mainly because it's a topography. You can't even see the store. And I don't think, we certainly want to keep as much business and property tax paying businesses in this county as we can. And I think we can justify giving them an additional 25 feet or 20 feet in height and allowing them 400 square feet of signage on that, for that sign. That would be in compliance with the ordinance, but the height, I think that we can justify that.
Hi, this is.
I have no problem with it. I like Casey's. If it was there, I'd wanna find it. And
Would you happen to
want
have
it
the
to be seen.
officer's number who's down there for our security? I needed to have him come up real quick.
So, I would go along with.
Yes.
I don't think we can change the square footage because the board of supervisors just set that one. It sounds like that'll work for the company. I don't have a problem with the topography and that sort of thing. So, any other discussion?
This is Matt with the planning department. I've been up in the board of supervisors here.
Okay, you want to
And
Does this pass with the supervisors and will
is
they
there any change you guys can reach?
I don't think so with the square footage.
that part right there? That's
See, before we discussed that, they were gonna do the square footage, and we didn't wanna set it, cause then we're setting their
Yep.
precedence, and now they've set that, we're within that. The height variance we can
It's done.
justify, as Tim.
The code change is
Okay.
done.
Okay.
The code change is
Right.
done and adopted, so this is what it is now. No change.
Okay,
I
so
appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
there within, you want a motion?
Sure.
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance of an additional 20 feet in height for the sign based on the findings of fact by staff. And I don't think we need to say anything about the 400 square feet because that's part of the ordinance. So my only variance will be the height.
20 feet?
Yep.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we'll have a polling of the board?
General?
Yep.
White?
Yes.
Whitman?
Yep.
Herder?
Yes.
Yes.
Here. Motion carried?
Motion carried.
Okay, you got your 20
Thank you
feet?
very much.
Hopefully that'll help you.
Thank you.
I'll get you a revised drawing. Anything else you need from me?
We will need the new building permit application,
Okay.
and just drawings with it, or if you want to, submit, if you're gonna revise anything, then there'll just be new drawings in the building.
Yeah, I wanna get the extra 100 square feet.
Yep,
All right. Thank you very much.
thank you.